Action. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Chemical Man Podcast Show. I'm your host, Chris. And today I have my special guest with me again, as always, my dog, because he just loves being in the picture. Anyway, hopefully everybody can hear me on there. Okay. So, all right, Spot, chill. Just chill. Come on. All right. Anyway, so today I want to talk about things that we really don't talk about when people get jobs, and that's fire brigade out there at the plants. So there are times that a lot of companies have the fire brigades and the fire team and the EMT and all that good stuff. And a lot of times people don't really talk about that. And I like to discuss that a little bit. So my company is a volunteer. So if you want to be on it, you can be on it. If you don't want to be on it, you don't have to be on it. I know some other companies out there are, if you're the low man when you hire in, you're the low man that's going to be put on it, while the senior man isn't. And then there's some out there where a buddy of mine works that everybody, because it's a smaller plant, everybody's on the fire team, and everybody's part of the fire team and the EMT and everything else out there. So those are things you got to think about when you go to a plant. You know, there's a possibility you could be on the fire team. And it's something you may like, and it's something you may not like. I mean, I was on it for a while, and I actually enjoyed it. We would go down to College Station. We would fight the fires down there. We probably 3 days down there, fight a bunch of fires. There's a couple times if you were claustrophobic, that was hard. You had to have all your gear on. You had to have your breathing mask on. You had to have the bottle on, and you had to go through this little maze. It's completely dark. You can't see. You have to feel around on there. And you kind of have to feel your way through, and it's simulating like if you get trapped somewhere and you can't see, then you have to kind of feel your way out and see if you can make it or not. And I was with a couple people that were sucking down that bottle pretty quick because they were nervous and they did not like being in that situation. That was a bad situation. But once they turn the light on and you look in there and you're like, geez, this thing's big. This thing's about as big as a pantry at a normal house. It's a small thing. But fighting the fires is fun, you know. You get to go out to College Station. You get to do that. Some of them have the EMTs where you get the emergency medical training on there, so you can like be first aid, work in the ambulance if you have one at the plant and all that stuff. And then a lot of the plants are part of the SEMA program. So I know one place I used to work a long time ago. Every night, I don't know, it was close to midnight or something, they would all call the different plants. They would check in. Hey, this is Lubrizol, we're checking in. This is so-and-so checking in. This is, Marisol checking in, all that kind of stuff. And everybody would check in. And when you're part of that, when you're on the fire team and then you're part of that SEMA group, well, then you go help the other plant. So like where I worked next door was ITC, and they had the big fire back in 2019. Well, I know my plant and a couple other plants went over there and helped them fight that fire. So you think about that too. You're not just fighting the fire that happens at your plant. You're also going to be helping out other plants too when they need it or they don't have enough people over there too. And I know like some of the plants, if you're on the fire brigade, you get a bonus per year. You get that's guaranteed overtime. Some places per year because you have to go to simulate fighting the fires like at College Station. I think some people go to Louisiana. It's all different places like that. There used to be some around LaPorte and places like that too. So, but it's another thing too that if you get hired on as an operator, it's something to look at. You got to ask. Am I going to be on the fire brigade because I'm the low man, or is it something you want to be on there? Because if it's something you want to be on there, and that's great because that also looks good later down the line. Like if you want to. Say like with my company hires within, and if you like being on the fire team or you like being that EMT sort of tech and all that stuff, then that's a good thing because if the job ever comes available, then you can move out of the operation department and you can move into that department and then further your career in that part too. So that's always an option too. Or if you like that aspect and you never knew you liked it, then you could go do something else, I don't really want to focus on the operation anymore. I want to go be a fireman somewhere, and I've got all this training up here too on that. But I wanted to bring that light to some people because some people may not know that, that you just watch it. If you get hired at a place and you potentially could be on the fire team, either you want to or maybe because they require everybody to be on it. Every plant's different in that. the extra income per year is kind of nice. The extra training's nice. It's fun too. I know, like with us, when we do confined spaces for like during shutdowns and stuff like that, we actually have to call sorry, that's my other dog. We have to actually call the EHS tech people, and they have to actually come over and look at the situation. We're going to have a confined space. They got to build a procedure, make sure we're good on that. They got to know where to rescue people from. They do a whole stuff they got to look at. Plus, if we're having a confined space and we don't have enough safety people to rescue somebody, then we can't do a confined space. We always have to call ahead of time. We have to call safety, make sure we have enough people, make sure there's enough people to rescue if there's something happens, and if there's not, then we just can't do it that night. We have to put it off the next day when there's enough people. And for a while there, we were doing something, I don't know about the other plants, but like we had to have a certain amount of people in the plant, that's fire brigade or EMT in there, and then if we didn't, then we would call people in. So that was another way to get overtime too. So you might be called on your day off, say, hey, you're on the fire team, we need you to come in, we need you to come to the unit, you can hang around the unit, just be here in case something happens, and go from there. And that's another way to look at getting some extra money too on there. But so yes, I was on the fire team for many years, and I enjoyed it. And then towards my end, I actually wrecked a fast attack truck, and that's a funny story. Some people know, some people don't. It was an F-250, had 2 big fire monitors in the back of it. I was coming back, trying to come back where the fire, or we're putting water on this reactor to cool it down. I was coming back around, and I didn't pay attention to the beam above me, so I tried to go under. And when I hit the beam, it caused the fire monitors to bend the bed back. And so when I got out and saw it, the fire monitors were usually supposed to be facing like this. They were facing like this. So so we had to get a new bed in the truck, and we had to do investigation, and everything was good after that. We were all okay. Nobody got hurt. Everything was good. So I tell these funny stories because I want people to realize that things happen out there. You don't work in a perfect world. Things happen. You just take your time. And if you do something wrong, just make sure you can explain yourself and don't lie. Tell them, man, I did it. I'm sorry. It's an accident. The best thing you can do is not lie, because in the end, they'll catch you. And if they catch you lying, it's usually your job. If you can explain yourself and tell them what happened and the reasons, and you're pretty much good. You can keep on going with your job, and really nothing bad really happens on that. Just always be honest with everybody. But yeah, I wrecked a fast attack truck, and after that, probably about a year later, I said, yeah, I'm probably done with the fire brigade. I was not having fun anymore, so I got out on that one. But that's a whole nother story on there. But we're all good on there. But yeah, just hey, look, think about that. When you get a job, potential being on the fire team, potential being in the EMT. Sometimes some plants make everybody. Sometimes some plants make the low person be it. So if you're new, you're going to be on it before anybody else. Some people like being on it. Some people don't. So it's just things to consider there. And sometimes it's fun. I mean, when you're a kid, you always wanted to ride in the ambulance. Well, not really an ambulance, but the fire truck, right? You want to drive the fire truck. There's your opportunity. You get to drive the big old fire truck and help out with people and have fun on there. Anyway, everybody have a great day. Everybody take your time. It's Masters Week this week. I know I'm excited about the golf, but that's me. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below. If you have any other questions, or again, if you need some questions with your resume, anything, just shoot me an email, and I'll be more than happy to look at it for you and help you out. But remember that there could be a potential that you could be on the fire brigade or the fire team when you get hired on. So think about that too. Anyway, everybody have a great day. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the beautiful weather. And we'll hope to talk to you again soon. All right, out.